thank you so much for joining me this afternoon and agreeing to share, your sandwich placement experiences so far, obviously with students who are currently studying your course. Would it be possible for you to just kind of start off, introducing yourself, who you are, what you're currently studying, and any career ambitions that you might have when you finished your course?
Sure. So my name is Shaf Ahmed. I am currently an LLB law student doing my placement year. I'm currently working as a graduate manager, but
Mhm.
in terms of my future career ambitions, I am looking to become a solicitor within the legal sector, ideally a criminal lawyer, but we'll see.
Okay, brilliant. And where are you currently working on your sandwich placement year?
Sure. So I am currently working as a graduate manager, as I mentioned.
Mhm.
I'm working in Wilmslow, which is about 2 train stops away from Manchester.
And the company that you've chosen to work for over there, what made you decide to pick them for your placement year?
Good question. So to be honest, I did spend, about 2, 3 months actually searching for a replacement during my second year at university. I think end of the
Mhm.
day, it's too good of an opportunity not to not take up basically. And I felt like, I needed to find an opportunity somewhere. But for me personally, although I do love the legal sector, I also feel like there's certain transferable skills which you can learn from other environments, which you can use
Mhm.
anywhere. One of which, in my opinion, is kind of sales, and of course, making yourself out in the best possible manner to other future employers. So, um, my choice to work at Pareto basically came from the idea of, end of the day, this company specializes in getting graduates, finding the
Mhm.
top 20% and placing them at some of the leading organizations in the world. Having said that, obviously in my head, my perspective of thinking is if I was to work in an environment like this, I'll know what it takes to firstly go through the process myself, but to
Mhm.
identify them characteristics that set you apart from your normal candidate, and in turn will help me in my future. When I start applying
Mhm.
for roles later on down the line, I'm going to know how to properly CV screen. I know how to adapt my CV to best suit the needs of a future employer, and to obviously act appropriately in the proper environment and in the right manner.
Absolutely. Sounds great. And what are you kind of doing sort of day to day on your role, if you were sort of to, I suppose, describe a typical day, if you like,
Sure.
what kind of thing are you doing?
So, I mean, to be fair, it's quite an autonomous job. Like, you do have a lot of flexibility in what you do, but the main end goal is supporting other graduates who come fresh out of university and help
Mhm.
placing them into some of our clients. So, I can't really name some of the companies in particular that I'm working on, but
Mhm.
my day to day will include speaking to some of the clients and finding out what they need. Um,
Mhm.
in terms of the candidates, what type of people they're looking for. And then from there, I'll go through the process of identifying university graduates, people who have just come fresh out of university, or somebody who's graduated last year, for example. Um, Basically identify their competencies and whether they match what we're looking for. So as I say, we only take the top 20% here. So we look for that top 20% of competencies with each individual. And if they match what we're looking for, we'll put them through an interview stage and any assessment day. And obviously, if all goes well there, they'll get placed with our clients. So my day to day is to identify them candidates, to liaise with the clients, and obviously to take part in the assessment side of things and to properly assess them to ensure they meet the standards that we're looking
Mhm.
for.
Brilliant. So it sounds like you say, lots of kind of variety there, autonomy in the role. In terms of your sort of sandwich placement itself, how did you go about sourcing that, and what kind of tips might you have got for sort of current students who are sort of in the process of trying to find a sandwich placement?
Sure. So I actually end up finding this particular placement very kind of far in. So I was applying for placements about November time, so about 2, 3 months after I started second year, and being fully transparent with yourself, Cerise, like it took me a solid 4 months to find this opportunity. But don't forget, in the meanwhile, I was actively looking. I ended up finding this particular opportunity on Handshake, so the university
Right.
job board, which is always
Mhm.
very ideal. But prior to that, there was a process of finding other opportunities, really finding what matches what I'm looking for. And my advice to any student who is looking to undertake a placement is just keep going at it. End of the day, I think as it works within a job search, finding a placement takes a lot of resilience. End of the day,
Hmm.
you're not always going to be accepted to every opportunity you want, but at the same time, it's all about keeping going and remembering. End of the day, you're helping yourself for long-term succession and growth. And if you keep going at it, you're going to only better yourself. You're only going to get to the place you
Hmm.
want to be at, right?
It sounds like, is that kind of your sort of tip really in terms of, I suppose, current students preparing? You're saying you sort of have that kind of resilience, keep on applying, keep on looking sort of what's out there in terms of preparing and things for going on placement.
100%. Like, I think once they got to about month 3 of me searching for my placement, I started really struggling, thinking, oh, maybe I'm not going to get a placement. Maybe I should have searched a little sooner. But I think that was me just fighting with myself, deciding, oh, maybe I'm not going to find it. But in the end, if you keep going at it and you keep on trying, you don't give up, you will end up finding that opportunity that best matches what you're looking for. So, yeah,
Mm.
100% agree. Resilience is a big factor there.
Mm. And out of interest, how did you feel, before you started on the placement? Did you have any maybe like worries or concerns before you went on them? And if so, how did you tackle them?
So, I mean, I personally like to think I'm quite a confident person. I normally can get into any environment and settle in relatively easily. But, don't get me wrong, I still had my fair share of nerves. Especially a couple
Mhm.
days before I started the role. I think it's more
Mhm.
the fact that you're coming into a completely different environment. You're coming fresh out of university, going into this corporate busy environment, speaking to clients, going into meetings, and it can be daunting. Um,
Mm.
but with me, the way I kind of tackled it was, exactly how I tackle first year university. Really go out, speak to other people, ask when you need help. There's no such thing as a wrong answer here, which is what I love. And in this environment that I'm currently working in, they are very sociable. Everyone's very
Mhm.
talkative. They've got great personalities. And if you are working in an environment like here, there's regular socials. So the day before my first day here, they
Mhm.
invited myself and a couple of the new people out to a little social, and we all just went and actually met everyone on like an informal level the day before the
Mhm.
actual day. So that really helped ease my thoughts on the day anyway. But everyone's really nice. I think it's just you got to not overthink it and just tackle it at hand and realize it's
Mhm.
actually so much better than you might be worried about.
Yeah, sure, sure. That's good that you've sort of settled in and things now. Is there anything that you maybe wish you'd known before starting your placement?
Oh, good question. Um, to be fair, when I came to the opportunity, I thought it was very much, yeah, you're speaking to other clients and businesses nonstop. And, as much as I enjoy that, what I found was it is a balance of the two. So,
Mm.
you are speaking to clients and businesses, but at the same time, you are speaking to other candidates. Now, arguably, I think it's better in that way, just because with me still going back to university, I
Mm.
know all the skills that I've learned in identifying the best candidates will help me find another job, because I know what an employer is looking for. So now I know how to adapt myself to best suit what an employer wants, right?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. And for what do you think sort of in general are kind of the key benefits of sort of the sandwich placement year?
Oh, I think there are so many kind of different things. I can't really go into everything, but I think my key takeaways that you can learn from a placement is, firstly, the transferable skills. So, like, obviously, even in uni, I'm quite an on top person. I'm on top of everything. I try and stay on
Mhm.
top of everything. But when working in this environment, you find new ways of, for example, get booking in meetings, scheduling calls with people, that extra level of
Mhm.
professionalism. I know I'm going to be transferring into a university environment, especially use like Google Calendars. I barely use Google Calendars till I came to
Mm.
this place. Now, further to that, I've also, built my confidence and communication skills and relationship building skills, and most importantly, like identifying competencies and interviewing skills, which will
Mhm.
definitely benefit me later on down the line, and especially when working in a legal background, for example. Because end of the
Yeah.
day, you'll be speaking to clients on a very regular basis, on a very professional manner, very professional way. Working in this environment is like that stepping stone, if you will, to help me best support that. And of course, it doesn't hurt to have that experience and a bit of money to go with it. So
Yeah.
Those are like my main factors, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's great. And if you could just give kind of one piece of advice to kind of every sandwich placement student before they started their placement, what would it be?
Oh, so I'd say my one piece of advice for anybody starting their sandwich placement is take in everything, learn as much as you can, and everything's an experience. End of the day, it might feel a bit different and a bit nerve-wracking initially, but you're going to be in a different environment. You're learning something new. You're gaining invaluable experiences, and you're setting yourself apart from somebody else in, say, when you're applying for other jobs. So really take it all in, take full advantage
Mhm.
of everything, and yeah, just really get yourself stuck in with the placement.
Brilliant. And last question really I have to ask, would you recommend doing a sandwich placement to other students? If yes, why? Or if no, why not?
Sure. So I wholeheartedly 100% recommend doing a sandwich placement to any other student. Anybody's looking to do a placement, 100% recommend you keep on looking, just because there's so many incentives to it. I mean, not only are you getting paid a proper wage, you're getting
Hmm.
real life work experience. You're going to know exactly what it's like to be in that environment before leaving university. It'll help you understand whether a certain industry is right for you if you're looking at a particular industry. As I say, you get them transferable skills which are invaluable. And on top of that, you're setting yourself up as well. Because if you do really enjoy your placement, you can always come back. If they like you, you've got that option for you for when you come fresh
Hmm.
out of university. So it's definitely, there's so many countless reasons, and they definitely far outweigh the reasons as to why not. So definitely do a placement.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much, Jeff. That's all kind of my questions and I wanted to ask. So thank you for sharing that. Is there anything else that you wanted to add?
Nothing really from my end in particular. I just want to wish kind of the best of luck to everyone on placement.
Oh,
But yeah, I mean that's it from my end. Yeah.
that's great. Thank you so much for your time. That's brilliant. Thank you.